Okay, hi, it's Alan Gibbon here from Larasoft, and I'm just going to give you an introduction to Taskbar Planner. It is one of the ways in which we track projects or software development within our business. There are obviously many tools out there. This is just one example, and obviously if you're a Microsoft 365 business, then the cool thing is it's already included and part of everything that you do. So if I just create a new tab here, you don't have to do it like that. There are many ways to do it, but just for simplicity, I'm just doing it here. I'm going to now integrate the many nice options available to you, but I'm going to use Taskbar Planner, which is the first item. It's very similar in many ways to Trello, but I'll just take us through that process. So this is going to be example, let's call it a data and reporting project. In fact, I can take yeah, let's leave it there. Tasks. Okay. So I'm going to use a new plan. I'm going to post to the channel so people get to know that it's there. It's running as it builds it. Okay, so now within the nice thing about Taskbar Planner is that you've got multiple ways in which you can tag a particular task. So I'm going to go through a few in this process, but at a glance, you've got these different ways. In fact, I was going to just try to take a screenshot there. These are some ways you can group by bucket, which you can see here's the to-dos. Normally the Kanban to-do, doing, done, but already Taskbar Planner has the progress screen. So if I click on progress, you can already see it's got the not started, in progress is completed. If I've got the assigned to, that's obviously the people in the project itself. Then obviously due date will be like more calendar driven. Then they got these labels, which is quite nice. So there only used to be 5 or 6. Now there's a whole lot. I think there's like 19 or so. The only downside is you can't rearrange these. You can rename them, but you can't drag them left and right. I'm sure that feature will come into the future. And then priority. So it can be urgent, important, medium, and low. Those are the priorities. And again, that sort order is predetermined for you. So I'm going to just go back to by buckets. You can capture things in the screen as I'm going to do now. You can capture things in a list view. So you can just quickly add a whole bunch. You can do it in a couple of different ways. So if I just, first of all, I'm going to create categories here. I'm going to call it unallocated. I'm going to create this bucket as data. I'm going to put this one as report. I'll put this one as infrastructure, so username, passwords, etc. If you've decided you want to make it more logical, you can move infrastructure first, then data, then report. You can drag it around here in the buckets. Okay, so I'm going to create a first item. I'll make it unallocated, and I can do a quick add. So it literally just will be get SQL credentials, or let's say establish connection to SQL Server. And then in that, I can double click on that, or click on that. I can assign it to Alan. You can see here I can also change it. At this stage it wasn't unallocated. I can change it to infrastructure or data, whichever your definition is. It's still not started. This is an important item. When are we starting? We're starting tomorrow. When's it due? It's due by the 31st. I can do some general notes. So a few things that need, and then over here will be like server details, database, username, password, something like that. So you can create like a mini lists within an item. You can add an attachment. So if there was a file that would speak to this, you could go and create that link. And then you can type some time-sensitive things. So speak to Peter, or let's say Peter to get, and then you can send it. Now that will be stored in the history. So that's the basic starting points. I can just add a few more. So I'll just go here, A, B, C, assign that to Bruce, and sorry, A, B, C, assign that to Bruce and set a due date for the second, add task. Maybe I'll go here, DEF, due dates. Let's say there, assign that to Alan, and yeah, that's good. I've actually assigned it to Bruce as well, so that's good. And add the task. Okay, and then let me just add one or two more. Do one for yesterday and see what happens. Any one of these you can then just double click and get full access, or depending on where you click, single click actually works fine. Okay, let's do one more for next month. Okay, and let's just say now that I've started this one, so it's in progress. Okay, so with those kind of views, I've got the first view. Now, just by putting that in, I can do a couple of things. I'm going to go, in fact, let me just go full screen. I'm going to, you can also pop it out to give yourself an even fuller screen. And you can also then go to the web, which is the last connection. Included in the web's the ability to export to Excel. Although that export to Excel is not a live link, you just export it every time you want to get a latest version. Sometimes helpful to share with someone outside of the environment. So let's try a few things. First of all, I want to hit list. It'll just show them all in list view. Go back to board. I'm going to be able to filter by assigned to. I'm going to go and filter on progress. And so you'll see not started in progress. I'm going to filter by due date. So you'll see what's late, what's due tomorrow, what's due next week. And if I maybe just make this one on the 2nd of May, you'll then see future. So it just rolls. And then by labels, so there's not anything here. So if I just go back to by bucket, and let's say we're about to have a meeting and I want to plan a discussion. So I'm going to just go in here and say to discuss. Okay, and I'll select that, and then I will do ABC as well, to discuss. Okay, great. So now if I go and filter by label, I've got things without labels, and then to discuss. Obviously, you can have different areas of the project here as well. So you've got two different ways in which you can slice and dice the group labels, and then the buckets, in addition to assign to dates and progress. And then priority, obviously, I can see that as well. So lots of nice things. I can also go group by bucket, then filter on label to discuss. So really nice for those meetings. And then while we're discussing it, we can decide to go, let's look at it by assigned to, or let's look at it by progress, etc. So lots of nice little features there. You can also filter on the other areas within the data set. Charts I personally have never used much, but you might find it really helpful. Schedule's quite nice, or schedule. It just shows you kind of a view of the project. You can get a weekly view and a monthly view, and then obviously you can go into next month and see the overflow, etc. So this might actually end up helping you, move away from those intricate Excel books, etc., to have a more integrated approach. Like I say, if you click the go to web, just get that one open. So I'll bring it up onto the screen. Okay, dragging that on now. So it's exactly the same same view, same information, but on the 3 dots here, you can do a little bit more information. One of the things, like I said, you can add plan to Outlook calendar. I haven't really tested that. but export plan to Excel is what you can do. And if you export that, I'll just open that up here. You'll see it gives you the list. It does give you unique task ID. So if you ever do start pulling additional things on that, then just use the task ID and then connect to that in your view. And that's Taskbar Planner. Another area that has come in is something called lists. So I won't go through that in this video, but just to get there to experiment, you can go back into your team and you can add here. And if you add a list, list is also a matrix type environment where you can add a list. You can start from blank. You can import from Excel or an existing list. You can use some templates. These templates grow. For example, work progress tracker, there's some predefined things and you can add fields, etc. Really, really nice. What I quite like about the Taskbar plan is it also integrates with your other plans. So you can get like a blended task list and you can put your own to-dos, etc. And Microsoft To Do, for example, also integrates with that Taskbar planner. This list is completely separate at this stage, doesn't seem to flow through to that area. Maybe they'll integrate into the future. But if you wanted a standalone thing that doesn't clutter up your tasks, etc., you could give this a try as well. Maybe I'll do a video on that sometime. Cool. Thank you so much.